First of all, the signal goes from the guitar to the wah pedal into the iRig here. I then have the iRig plugged into the iPhone, a few different samples, some from the new SampleMoog. From there, I'm also using the Midi guitar app. That is what allows me to do all the Midi control. I then have the signal going from a stereo wire into the audio interface into Amplitube 3. I do have a preset here, but as you can see, I've added a couple different pedals like the Ampeg, and I've set the sequel a little different for the amp. Some more effects. Now I have this entire signal going back into the interface to the amp over there. Now the amp, instead of sending the signal to the amp, we can send it to another iDevice. So that means we can either record all of this onto the digital audio workstation on the Mac, or even on another iDevice, the Amplitube Studio. That of course affects latency, which I'll get into in a minute. The iRig Blue Board, I have some presets set just for this video at the moment. I apologize for the movement. Okay, so what I'm basically showing everyone here in this long intro is how to MIDI control your use the iRig keys or another MIDI keyboard to control all this. It's nothing that special that I'm using a guitar to control it, but it is something that can be used for stage. Of course, the more you have in it, the more latency. The more the signal travels, of course, the more the latency will be. Shredding guitar solos are kind of hard unless you go straight from the iPhone into the amp. It's a little easier to go faster, but really the latency in all this is not as bad as some people complain. Some serious stage effects there with just your guitar plugged into this. Obviously right now I'm using a SampleMoog. Now, you don't just have to use a guitar for MIDI control. You can also theremin, guitar, bass for the bass sounds in SampleTank. You can use a violin, basically any instrument. The dulcimer on the wall can be used also. It's all a matter of using MIDI guitar along with great apps like SampleTank and basically any kind of synthesizer app at all. It's good fun, and I'm sure if it's just compacted a little, you can make it quite interesting on stage or just for fun at home like I like to do. But anyway, there you have it, something different.